This budget is not for the people, it's a betrayal, a neoliberal insult to the working class. These were the thunderous words of EFF Commander-in-Chief Julius Malema as he tore into the newly tabled 2025 national budget proposal, accusing the ANC-led government of pushing an agenda that only benefits the elite while the poor continue to starve in silence. In a fiery press briefing held at the EFF's headquarters in Braamfontein, Malema left no room for confusion. The EFF is prepared to reject the budget in its entirety, calling for nothing less than a radical economic overhaul of South Africa's financial priorities. Malema began by criticizing the budget structure, which he described as being crafted to please credit rating agencies and global capital, not to uplift the millions of unemployed and impoverished South Africans. He slammed Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's 2025 proposal, calling it unimaginative, capitalist, and a betrayal of South Africa's democratic promise. Where is the money for land reform? For free education? For job creation programs that actually work? Instead, we see billions poured into state bailouts and debt repayments while our people go to bed hungry. The EFF leader accused the Treasury of maintaining a colonial economic framework, arguing that the country's budget continues to benefit white monopoly capital, while black communities remain trapped in poverty. Malema's anger only intensified as he turned to specific sectors. He lashed out at what he described as unforgivable underfunding of public health and basic education. According to the proposal, funding for rural healthcare infrastructure remains stagnant, and once again, no significant provisions were made to eradicate pit latrines in schools. You can't build a capable state when children are dying in toilets and nurses are begging for gloves. This is not a budget, this is a death sentence for the poor. The EFF reiterated its demand for the implementation of a fully funded national health insurance (NHI), completely decommodified and free from corporate interference. It also called for RDP-style investments into building schools, training teachers, and digitizing classrooms in townships and rural areas. A major sticking point for the Red Berets was the absence of a universal basic income grant, BIG. Malema accused the government of deliberately delaying the implementation of this life-saving intervention, while poverty levels continue to soar. R350 can't buy dignity. We need a minimum of R1,500 per unemployed adult, no strings attached. Anything less is an insult to the working class and the unemployed youth. He warned that failure to implement a BIG in the 2025 financial year could result in mass unrest and a social revolution led by the very people this budget ignores. The EFF didn't stop at mere criticism. Malema announced that the party will mobilize its supporters across the country in what he termed a budget resistance campaign. This will include mass protests outside Parliament during the final budget vote, occupations of municipal and provincial treasury buildings, mobilization of students, workers, and informal traders to reject austerity. We are not begging, we are demanding. This government must choose, serve the people, or be removed by them. The party also intends to table its own people's budget, an alternative financial framework based on wealth redistribution, land expropriation without compensation, and the nationalization of mines, banks, and strategic industries. Malema ended the press briefing with a political warning: this budget is a mirror of ANC's priorities, and come 2026, the people will remember who chose corporations over communities. He reiterated the EFF's readiness for governance and said the party will use this budget rejection as a springboard into its 2026 election campaign, promising a government that prioritizes homes over helicopters, jobs over jets, and clinics over corruption. The rejection of the 2025 budget proposal by the EFF is not just parliamentary theatre. It is a declaration of war on economic orthodoxy, a call for a seismic shift in South Africa's post-apartheid financial vision. Whether the ANC will budge, or whether this showdown will spill into the streets, remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Julius Malema and the EFF are preparing for battle, and they're calling on the forgotten masses to rise with them. The budget must fall if the people are to rise.